Galore.
This week I've come to Burghley to follow the fortunes and misfortunes of our junior team in the European three-day event championships. Eventing is truly the pentathlon of equestrian sports and certainly one of the toughest sports devised by man for horses. It consists of 5 distinct phases: dressage, roads and tracks, cross-country, steeplechasing and show jumping, all of which are run over the 3 days. And both the horse and rider must be equally at home in all of them. It really is a crazy but exhilarating sport, full of opportunities, challenges and of course disappointments. This is only the 3rd time the junior championships have been held in Britain. The age limit is 18 and 9 countries have sent teams. Jane Wilson, Alice Hall, Jackie King and Chris Bealby represent Britain. Nicky Newton and Laura Tierney entered individually. They begin by walking the course, the first of many times. Chef de keep Isabel Reed explains.
On the whole, 3 times is the minimum amount that you want to go around. The first time, which is the official walk round, you go around with all the other teams, and so there are an awful lot of people on the course. You don't really get a straight line at the fence because you probably only see other people's backsides. And so it's only a general impression. It's really the next time that you go around, you look at it from the horse's point of view, because then you get the clear impression of the fence without a lot of people in your way. Then you look at the fences. A lot of them, there's only one way to jump it, which is straight through the middle. But then half of them, there are about 3 or 4 different approaches, different places you can jump the fence. And you have got to work it out, which is the best way for your horse, you and your horse. It is a speed competition, and they get penalties for going too slowly. If they get round in what they call the optimum time, you get no penalties. But for going slower than that, you get penalty points. And so you want to try and get round with as few penalties as possible. Some horses have got long strides and some short strides. And the distance between a combination fence, what distance might suit one horse might not suit another horse. So you've got to pace out between the combination and find out which is best for your own horse. If you go too fast into a water fence, the horse jumps out too big, lands in the water, and hitting the water stops the horse suddenly, and so you can turn over. A lot of the horses here are equally good, and if you change the jockeys over, the same few jockeys would come out on top each time, because it's the fewest errors that the riders make. People think that perhaps horses, you don't have to use your brain, but you certainly do. You've got to set your horse up for each fence, because after all, you have seen the fence, you know the problem, but the horse is seeing it for the first time. So you have got to bring him in the right balance, at the right speed, so he's capable of jumping that fence when he sees it at the last moment. And you have got to get the horse with his hocks underneath him in the right sort of bouncy canter. It's no good going in on the flapping rein, just kicking, because the horse will be on his forehand and he can't ping off his back end at the last moment.
Then comes the vet's inspection. This is simply to make sure that the horse is sound enough to take part. It begins on day 1 with dressage. The event is designed to test the all-round ability of the horse and rider. Each phase involves a different balance, different paces and different priorities. This is Edith Schließ of Germany. This dressage test is not difficult, but it is difficult to do well.
Well, the Germans are pretty well always the best. You only got to see them outside in the collecting ring, and it makes one feel rather small. They don't have any hunting, and during the winter, in order to make their riding interesting, if you're riding in an indoor school all the time, you've got to be doing dressage. You can't just ride round and round an indoor school doing nothing at all.
3 of the British team are trained by David Hunt. This is a tense time in the collecting ring as the teams and their trainers try to settle and balance their horses. The horse must be calm, supple, and give the impression of doing of his own accord precisely what the rider wants. Jackie King on Hinton Admiral is trained by Paul Fielder.
All right, go on, go on. Keep it nice and calm. Lead him round. Then a half circle onto the left. Just you look up. Look to the front, not to the side. Walk. Let him have a little more range with his head.
The test has to be ridden from memory. Scoring is done entirely on a penalty basis. The penalty marks from each phase are added together and the competitor with the lowest score is the winner. And in the team competitions, it's much the same. The 3 best scores of the 4 team members of each nation are added together and the team with the lowest total score is the winning team.
This dressage position is not really a natural position. If you just sat naturally, you wouldn't sit with a straight back. You lean a little bit forward, and so our riders tend to begin with, lean a little bit forward. They go hunting, and then you get an awfully bad habit, so your legs shoot forward as well.
David Hunt trains Orpheus and Laura Tierney.
That's a good outline, and let him maintain that. Try and relax down into the rhythm.
I visited him just before the event.
Get them in a nice balance and then across the diagonal in extended trot. That's good. Keep him in balance. Very good. Only ask as much as he can maintain the rhythm. He isn't able to produce an extended trot like the others. Relax a little bit more. That's it. A little bit more. That's it. Now keep it going on round the corner. Still asking that little bit more. Now don't over-push him that he loses his balance. Basically, he can't cope with it what the others can. And if you ask too much at this stage, you're going to ruin him for the rest of his life because he'll tense and he'll always quicken and hurry. Now quietly come into halt. Keep the same outline. No, he's not square. Ride him forward a little bit more with your inside leg. Now let him get square. That's okay. Let him relax first. No, it didn't really start clear enough. You want nice, clear steps back. Do it
if he
again.
feels as though he's going to crab like that, is it better to go on?
Yeah, if he's going to crab, yes, definitely. Push him forward and then come on again, especially in practice.
He doesn't take very big steps.
Yeah, trot on.
How do I make him take bigger steps back?
Well, get him established in his halt first, so he's relaxed and he's stood square. Then ask him nice, clear steps backwards. Try it a little bit earlier so you've got more room. Now, halt there, quietly. Good, better. Now, also a little bit with the right leg. No, he mustn't, he's coming back before he's established his halt. A little bit more left leg. Come on. More left leg. That's better. Let him relax there. Now, that's better. Now, is he relaxed?
Sort of.
Well, when he feels relaxed enough, then ask him 4 steps back. Quietly with both hands. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trot, quick, come on.
That felt much better.
Much better.
Day 2 and cross-country day, and this is really what it's all about and why the competitors are in the game. For Gala Gamble, protective bandages, not just tied on, but sewn on. For Alice Hall, 2 watches, a complicated timetable, and nerves.
Remember that the Irish.
Jane Wilson and flying solo, a solid combination, were chosen by Isabel to go first.
Got 2 watches on, you should be balanced.
Are you all right? No one knows yet how the course will ride or what the snags will be.
Okay. And you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Jane. Watch.
Hang on.
Now, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
The competitors are sent off at 5-minute intervals. One hour and 3 minutes to cover 10.5 miles, split up into 4 phases. This is phase A, roads and tracks, 2.5 miles long, and it must be completed within 16 minutes. To save the horse unnecessary exertion, it's usually taken at a steady trot, with periods of cantering, but there's a long way to go yet. Most riders, though, like to open their horses up before the next phase. As phase B follows directly, most riders try to arrive with 2 minutes in hand to rest the horse and reset their watches. Christopher Bealby and Jack Be Nimble were chosen for the team last year. This year they were 7th at badminton.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
This is the steeplechase section, demanding yet another style of riding. 1.5 miles and 6 brush fences to hurdle in 3.5 minutes. To make the time demanded, they must travel at over 23 miles per hour. The rider must keep the horse jumping at speed without checking its stride. If they become unbalanced, the rider will take more out of the horse than he can afford at this stage. The end of phase B runs straight into the start of phase C. The second part of roads and tracks, and nearly twice as long as the first phase. Now everything must be done to save the horse for the next phase. Time allowed, 24 minutes. The riders must judge the pace very accurately to avoid time faults. And so to the last stage of this test of speed and endurance, phase D, the cross-country.
And on. Flying solo is now started. Flying solo well over the first. Stay clear of that.
A little over 3 miles in 9.5 minutes at a speed of 20 miles an hour, and 20 testing jumps to negotiate, with a penalty point for each second over the time demanded. Some of the fences test the courage of the horse and rider, some are puzzles, but all test the skill of the rider to keep his horse going smoothly across country at speed. A strong, relentless canter has to be maintained, and every break in the horse's rhythm will lose precious time. As they finish phase C and before starting on the cross-country, there's a compulsory 10-minute halt for the vets to make sure that the horse is fit and able to continue. Immediately the horse has been passed by the vet, it's washed down and has its legs greased to enable them to slide over any fence he may hit. The first fence is always inviting and easy, though for some riders the halt seems to break their concentration, losing valuable time.
Breaking over the second attempt at the first.
Some riders look barely over the minimum age of 14.
Of 109.2. A total today of 109.2 for number 20.
But he's off to a terrific start, almost too terrific.
Over the first.
Now Kurfürst, ridden by Dietrich Baumgart, a member of the German team, and leading after winning the dressage on day one.
Kurfürst over the second. Laura Constance now remounted Irish Mist has gone on, approaching the open water as Galore Gamble starts.
The German junior champion Ralf Ehrenbrink on Huntsman, less than a point behind Kurfürst. Battle of Poland having a little trouble at that jump the British team looked at for so long.
Now over 15, Beethoven.
But Nicky Newton flies through it, making good time.
Scarlett over capabilities cutting.
Lorbass, ridden by Michael Speitmann of Germany, winner of the individual title last year. Jane Wilson, our guinea pig, safely home with a faultless round. Now watch this. He comes in too fast, jumps too big, comes off, taking his bridle with him.
Making a total to date of 59.6. 59.6. Bobby New. X coming out of the water.
Alice Hall on Galore Gamble going well for Britain. This horse, now 8 years old, was bought from the gypsies 5 years ago for only £250. And well over the big which-way rails. Another member of the German team approaching the trout hatchery. Though they took the first 3 places in the dressage, they are sometimes not so accomplished across country.
Begonia in trouble at the trout hatchery. Edith Schlesch, the second of the German team members. Galore Gamble has completed the course for Great Britain. That's the second team member home. Begonia has now had a second refusal at the trout hatchery. And Begonia has now had a third refusal and has eliminated the trout hatchery.
But there were no such problems for Alice Hall and Galore Gamble, who achieved the second faultless round for Britain. What a tragedy for Michael Speitmann. That fall cost him his 3rd place, put him right out of the competition and lost him his title. This uphill approach to the 5-foot-wide dairy farm table was planned to catch riders out, and it certainly caught this French girl riding ale.
Without going down. Right down.
Trouble again for Ale at capabilities cutting. The last fence caused no problem for Jeremy Spring and Dolly Pye of Ireland. But the happiest man of the day must have been 17-year-old Dietrich Baumgart, who had no penalties and so was still in the lead at the end of day 2. The position now: first France, second Germany, third Ireland, present title holders, fourth Great Britain up from 7th place. And so to day 3 and show jumping, with not much between them.
You can have a lot of trouble in the show jumping, having jumped across country, because yesterday they were going fast. You must remember they did a steeplechase, and when you jump on the steeplechase, a horse has to jump a bit flat to get the time, and then he gets chased around the cross country as fast as you can, so as not to get penalties. And so today he's jumping flat, and a test of jumping the fences clean and round is quite tough.
Have the team had a look? What do they think?
Well, we're just going to have a look now. You're only allowed to have a look at the course an hour before they have to jump it.
So, will the British team be able at the last moment to overhaul the Irish and take the bronze medal?
It's not a show jumping test like just pure show jumping, but it's just to see that he can still perform and is fit enough to still be of use. The jumps aren't enormously big. They're about 3'9" in height, but fairly large spreads, 5'6" in spreads.
Ihr müsst hier nach dem Aufzug. Nur ganz wichtig ist dabei, dass ihr sie immer wieder überm Sprung und vorm Sprung ganz weit mit der Hand habt, dass sie da nicht.
This is Random Light, representing Ireland for the 4th time in these championships. In spite of some bad luck and losing the title, the Irish clung to their position in 3rd place and kept Britain out of the medals. The German team kept their heads and went clear. Dietrich Baumgart on Kurfürst, with a brilliant round, won the individual gold medal. Now, could the French keep their title?
The final phase of the Junior European Championship from France. Monsieur Olivier Dupagna riding Bobino. They're in 3rd place individually with 46, and they must jump clear to ensure France of the Junior European team title.
Oliver Dupagna, winner of the individual gold in 1976 and now in 3rd place and knowing everything depended on him, sensibly aimed for a safe, slow round, and it was slow. With that mistake at the gate, it was all over. He robbed himself of his 3rd place and France of the gold.
The Junior European Team Championship for 1978 goes to Germany.
So the final result was Germany in 1st place, with France 2nd.
After these 3 days comes France with a score of 155.8.
The individual gold was won by a delighted and deserving Dietrich Baumgart.
And a new series of horses Galore will be returning in the spring. Noel Edmonds opens up the multicoloured swap shop tomorrow morning at 9:30, when among his guests will be Donnie Anne-Marie Osmond, who will have